Hey, welcome to Alliance War Season 61 Supercut, I guess is what I'm going to call this. Basically just a giant mega compilation of a bunch of fights I took from the season. Almost all of them. This is my first ever season in a Tier 1 Alliance. I have a tiny bit of experience with Tier 2 War, but this was something completely new to me. I'm in the Alliance Love for this season. And as you can see by my very first fight, in this video at least, I did not play this very well. This is Node 11 Hit Monkey with Encroaching Root and Strike Counter Amplify, which doesn't matter for Hit Monkey, but I completely whiff a dex there and just get caught on the dash back. So I am very new to Alliance War. I do like playing Alliance War, but I am not very familiar with the concept of it. So this was a very nice season for me to be able to both learn how to plan, which is what I did for Love in our battle group, and also just for me to kind of get more game sense about Alliance War and figure out different matchups, how things work, that sort of thing. I am missing a couple fights from this first war, but the ones I do have recorded are all going to be here. This is Node 31, Jean Grey. I very quickly found out that Jean is going to be on the boss node most of the time this season. But for this very first war, she was on Node 31, the unblockable node, where pretty much if you have 3 or more debuffs on you, then the opponent will be unblockable almost the entire time. There, I throw my SP2 just to reclaim my pre-fights and get my persistent charges. It doesn't kill her, and I take a bit of power save damage, but it's fine. I didn't really understand the tactic for probably the first 2 wars of the season, because honestly, I just didn't bother to even read them. So I was a little confused as to why she had Unstoppable there, but eventually I got it figured out. This next fight is Node 46 Serpent, and this is going to be with my rank 4 Symbiote Supreme, which is fairly new at the time. I've had him for a little bit now. This fight is like pretty brain dead with Symbiote Supreme. Just throw on an SP3 defense, power start 1, power backs, just go for the SP3 rotation, and Serpent will go down in a couple cycles usually. This is not like the most exhilarating fight ever, and I do take it a couple more times in this video, which those will all be sped up. Pretty much anything that's going to be a repeat fight in this video, or something that's just incredibly boring, or just kind of sluggish to try and sit through, I will probably just speed up. This is before the SP3 skip came into war as well, so that makes this fight take a tiny bit longer as well. This was my first time taking this fight, so I was a little nervous because, well, I already had a pretty bad start, but I didn't want to make it even worse. I did assign myself this fight. I'm the one planning in my battle group for this entire season, so I'm in charge of my fights and everyone else's, so if I give myself a hard fight, I prefer not to die to it. The SP3 there does a good chunk of damage. Get an SP2 off, almost back to 3 bars, throw off another SP2, and he is just now getting into death immunity, so I'm going to slow play my combo there, have the relic saved, and slow play my combo again, and that bleed will tick him down. So, moving on, this is the second war of the season. This is going to be Node 7 Chee'ilth. Basically, the strategy here is you don't want her to cleanse any debuffs. Specifically, don't do what I did. You don't want to parry her here, otherwise she will cleanse the parry and she will gain the damage from this fight is pretty much just no specials, no parrying, nothing. So ideally, you want to bleed immune. And I brought Bastion with me, but I completely forgot about the fact that Chee'ilth increases her own throughout the course of the fight. So Bastion's not it's just resistant, only 100% resistant. So I will eventually take some bleed to block. There, I just completely don't deck the SP2, and I get her tranquilize on me. So there, I start to take some bleed damage, which is fine. This is just a very boring fight. Usually you want to bleed him here, but it's probably okay just to do this with Bastion. So there, I get hit a little bit. Now I take that
even more, I use the relic here just because I didn't remember if the relic would place a debuff or not on Chee'ilth. This is node 16 Arcade. Arcade is not nearly as scary here because the Aggression Fury got changed to Blood in the Water. So now he only gains 1 Fury if you have a debuff on you, instead of stacking up several Furies. There, I just missed the SB1 decks. Also, I'm now realizing I completely forgot to turn on my game audio for some of these fights, so some of these may sound a little off, but Serpent being whitelisted this season takes a ton of the map. Serpent and Onslaught both just kind of wipe the floor throughout the entire course of the season. I did not really use Serpent or Onslaught as much as I thought I would, but there, I'm not sure why I knocked down Arcade, because he only had 1 token, which is fine. But there, I get auto block because I'm not managing the tokens again, and he goes down eventually. So, not an incredibly difficult fight. You just have to not skill that issue and actually dex the SP1 and punish it. Moving on, this is Path 9, Section 2, Node 27 Sentinel. Bastion is fine for this. Sentinel, with his analysis charges, he does actually increase his own ability accuracy, so Bastion is not going to prevent the cold snaps 100% of the time like he normally would. That's why Sentinel's pretty commonly placed on Hazard Shift, at least for this season, because, yeah. So, I'm not going to fail everything, but I will at least heal from the poisons. There, I eat an SP2 on the block for whatever reason. Originally, my plan here was to invuln and go for the SP3 on Sentinel. That way, I wouldn't have to worry about him accidentally getting it later on in the fight and potentially timing out. But my invuln gets eaten, so I just decided to go for the SP3 rotation and just try and nuke him down in 1 SP2 after I have my Furies and the Disintegration debuff from the SP3, and it works. So, not too bad. Moving on, this is MODOK on 36. I believe this is One Eye Open and has a shift, yeah, Incinerate and Bleed. Kind of like Sentinel, MODOK will actually increase his own ability accuracy, kind of at random. MODOK, after his buff, is a little finicky. I would not assign myself this fight again, or really assign it to anyone for that matter, with Bastion at least. I think Chee'ilth, who is a great counter to MODOK, she is not tactic, but she does have the grit and can already deal with hazard shifts, so she's probably a much better option here. But trying to manage the auto block, having to punish heavies, trying to not throw specials into the auto block so I can actually deal damage. You'll see I whiffed an SB1 into the auto block right there. It's not like ideal, but it does work. It just requires some thumbs, so not like a super ideal fight, but I manage, so it's not the worst thing ever. Bastion does he's okay on nodes where he's not preventing all of the debuffs, and he's only going to be single immune. I believe I have some fights later on where I'm taking Bastion on node 44, where he's only single immune, and it's okay. Next up, this is node 37 Photon. I completely mess up there at the start. Ignore the high blood sugar notification. So in my tier 2 alliance that I was in the season prior, I took a lot of Photon fights with Okoye, so I was pretty comfortable going into this initially. You'll see here though, I do something incredibly stupid, and I, for some reason, push her to Pure Light. So I'm going to just get my block completely annihilated. She's being incredibly generous right now, throwing heavies, and I'm just panicking so badly. She's in Pure Light, she has an SP2 ready, she's regenning, I'm in the corner, and I am literally on the verge of death. I throw the relic there just to create a tiny bit of space, and I'm just hoping that once she throws the once she goes out of Pure Light, she'll throw the SP2, and she does. So I get very lucky there. I throw the SP2 instantly, just so I can create some space and get myself out of the corner. And I'm just completely frazzled right now. I'm at 37%, and she's still at 90% with about 90 seconds into the fight. So it is not going well. I realize now I should probably try and play a bit more cautiously and actually not push her to SP2. Well, or not push her to SP2 while she's in Pure Light. So the SP2 is fine to bait while she's not in Pure Light, but ideally, when she's in Pure Light, you just want to bait SP1s. So the fight feels a lot better now that she's actually ticking down a little bit, and I'm out of the corner. There I get hit by the SP1, I just mess up the dex. And I think I may, I'm not sure. Okay, no, I don't get caught by the root, but here, she's over 15 charges now, so I have to really watch out now because I'm about to knock her down and push her into Pure Light, because that's clearly the smart thing to do. So now I'm going to have to wait out another Pure Light form. Block the final hit of the SP1, does a ton of block damage. And she's ticking down now, so I'm just hoping that I can just wait out the Pure Light, and hopefully she'll go down. So this was an incredibly misplayed fight. Normally this should not go that horribly, but oh yeah, here it is. This is node 44, Hazard Shift, Poison Rupture, and Stun Immunity. Zola's here. Zola on 44 is kind of annoying because you can't stun him. Bastion is normally good for Zola because you can stun him with Bastion can parry non-contacts, but Bastion can't fail the ruptures, and Zola's ability accuracy can't be modified anyways, so Zola is good on Hazard Shift to counter Bastion anyways. So I sped this fight up. It is incredibly slow, incredibly boring, and I'm pretty sure I end this fight at like something stupid like 13 HP. So I would not recommend this again. I think I did assign it one other time this season to someone else, but trying to manage Zola's charges and not being able to stun him, and the heavy counter with Bastion isn't very good. Moving on, this is the next war, War 3, I believe, and throughout most of the showcase you'll realize I'm on Path 6 duty pretty much the entire time, mostly because of the mutants that get placed on Domino and Britain. I have Wiccan with me for a 31 Knull coming up, and there I completely mismanaged the Arrogance Falter, and I throw an SP2 into it, and pretty much my entire health was gone because Nova does a ton of damage when he dashes at you from across the screen. So I'm in the corner now, stuck. I just throw the SP3 to get the giant energy ball that he has from it, and I just play the rest of this very carefully. Try not to get caught. And he does just go down eventually, but really bad play for me there. So next, this is Domino on node 15. Domino here, the main threat is this has Phantom Bleed on it, so whenever she's inflicted with a bleed, she has a chance to purify it and gain a ton of power. So ideally, the best choice here is Prowler because he has incredibly good power control and is just kind of good for Domino anyways. I assigned myself with Bastion for this. I figured I could take it. I wouldn't really recommend this. It's kind of sketchy and very RNG dependent, more than Domino already is, but just because if she starts purifying those bleeds, her power can get really out of control, and Bastion has no form of power control other than power reroute, which really doesn't do that much. So yeah, there I get hit a little bit. I have to watch out for her lucky because Bastion is not the greatest Domino counter in the world, but it's fine. Prowler is definitely the safer option to set here, especially considering Domino is non-tactic, so Prowler is a much safer option here, and he's usually this fight it's okay. As long as she does not go to SP3, that bleed. I'm not sure if it would actually do much to Bastion or not. I'm not sure if he would fully resist it. I don't know how the SP3 bleed really works, but better to be safe than not. She fails some of the disintegration first there, but she goes down eventually, so that's fine. Next up, I believe I'm going on to, Path 4, Section 2. This is going to be Node 22 Void, which I took a couple times this season. So I fully invested in Double Edge and Liquid Courage just for this fight. I got some advice from a couple people on it. This fight, the scary threat here is that the Fury Void can get from the debuff being on you increases the damage that he deals for each debuff on you. So it just makes him incredibly threatening here if he throws a special. So ideally, you just want to nuke him down before he can throw a special at all. And Shang-Chi is very good for this, especially with recoil. So
fight goes down in 23 seconds. I think I have one later where I do it in 13, but that's with even ranks, not punching up. This is 31 Knull with Wiccan. This is not like super common anymore, mostly because people know how to deal with it. Mostly 31 is just kind of conquered by dust throughout most of the season, and I take that fight punch. Wiccan just works for this fight. He's a good counter for Knull. He can block the unblockable from the node, and he's a armor break, so pretty much if you just push Knull to SP2, he will apply 10 armor breaks to you, which means he will apply 10 incinerates onto himself, because Wiccan applies an incinerate every time he's immune to the debuff. So this fight is very easy with Wiccan. You just have to keep your resist up spell that lets you block up blockable attacks. And ideally, try not to finish your combos just that way so you can block the SP2. Or you can block it, or just get Knull to just bait the SP2. You can bait SP1s in this fight, I guess, if you really wanted to. Wiccan is immune to reverse controls. And if you keep the neutralize up, you want to worry about the unblockable or the unstoppable from the SIG. But you get more damage, you bait the SP2, and it's just kind of safer. The SP2 is an easy dex, and after those incinerates will take quite a bit. So, very safe fight. I only take Wiccan to this fight a couple times. He's not really all that useful for much else on the map. So, this next fight is node 37, it looks like. I want to say, I think this is Cassandra. For some reason, it didn't cut out this part where I'm putting on all my boosts. Oh, no, this is node 43. This is node 43. So, pretty much any mutant on Hazard Shift gets just completely dominated by Bastion this season. And next season, Hazard Shift is going to be dominated by Sinister as well. But with an Onslaught whitelist and a Bastion whitelist, Hazard Shift is not much of a threat for pretty much either of them. So if one can't take something, the other probably can. So, yeah, really, Gentle's not much of a defender this tactic, because the tactic for attackers actually gives them a crit buff, or crit passive, which just allows him to completely ignore Gentle's main threat, which is the unstoppable. So I'm not getting my crit in this fight up until now, and I think that's because I still didn't fully understand how the tactic works. And this time the SP2, but it ends up landing anyways. And yeah, you'll see the unstoppable just doesn't matter. With the disintegration vulnerabilities, Bastion just deals like 250k SP2 or SP1. So Gentle, not much of a threat this season on pretty much any node. Bastion just kind of deals with them and attack. No unstoppable, nothing to worry about. You can watch out for the SP2 and the massive physical resistance if you need to, but it's whatever. And then after this, I believe I take Dust on node 48, and this is a very clear example of me not understanding how the tactic actually worked in this fight. You'll see that I do not get this fight up, or I do not get the tactic up quick enough in this fight to actually counter the Unstoppable, and that combined with the Bane and the Sandstorm damage is all going to combine together, and I'm just going to completely flop on this. So, I can't really parry her either, just Stunning Reflection. So, yeah, you'll notice, one thing I did notice is I wasn't sure if I could heavy counter Dust or not. There, I get special intercepted by an SP1, and now I'm just taking away from the Sandstorm. And yeah, I did not have my grid up there, so I throw an SP1 straight into a block. It does absolutely nothing. Realizing now, after the fact, that what I should have done here is I should have just used the Power Star 1 and instantly just thrown my SP1 to get the crit up, and then that would have completely kept the fight under control. I'm not sure if Bastion can properly heavy counter Dust. I think I tested it and she could dex out of it at some points, but it's whatever. I had someone clean up that fight, and yeah, someone like Viv is probably better for that. Next up for War 4, I'm on Path 6 again. This is my first time being able to bring Onslaught into War for the season. It's an Attuma on node 6. Not Bastion. Onslaught counters miss anyways with the Neuroshocks, so the Falter node basically means nothing here. And
Attuma and a Bastion. I keep saying Bastion. Attuma is a defender on the war map with Onslaught being whitelisted. It's just kind of nothing. So this is a really easy fight. Just one SB1, one SB2, and that should seal the kill. I throw my heavy into the Unstoppable for some reason. I parry to get rid of the Unstoppable. I take a bit of Thorns damage. I think I only have 2 Onslaught fights this war, so it's not the biggest deal ever. But 1 SB2, 31 fight, just completely takes him down. So next up on node 15, I believe, is Captain Void. So this fight is another scary placement for Void. It's mostly 15 and 22 that are scary for Void. When asking around with some people in other alliances, I was told that one of the better options here was Mantis. And A, I only have a rank 1 Mantis, and B, I do not really know how Mantis works. So I decided to bring in my rank 4 Lumatrix, and I figured with the base endurances in his kit already, and the endurances from the tactic, he should be able to just kind of become pseudo-immune to the exhaustions from the node. But also, Void's damage is not as bad here because he doesn't have the Fury like he has on 22. So, this fight, I get clipped by a heavy there, and then I think I bait an SB2, and I try to dex it, and I think he applies the agility debuff, like, right at the very end. Yeah. So, I just completely didn't notice the agility on me, and I use the SB2. But with the endurances, the dark stats just kind of go away. So this fight can be played a lot better. I think I do take it again later on, but very safe. Lumatrix kind of makes that fight a complete joke. I wish I would have gotten to use Lumatrix more in this season, but for the fights I did get to use him on, he was very good. I think I use him for this next fight, which I believe is node 22, Mr. Negative, I want to say. Yeah. And Negative, I guess the thought process here is just that if he evades for whatever reason, I guess, or if he applies the Delirium, the damage gets increased from the Fury. But really, it's just kind of an ordinary tactic fight. You don't really need to parry with Lumatrix anyways, which is kind of the biggest threat with Mr. Negative. If you parry him, he gains his light energy, and then if you knock him down, he converts it to dark energy and reverses your controls. So, they're unfazed triggers, but the tactic really doesn't matter. So, I don't even think I go for an SB2 in this fight. I think I just spam SB1 and get the job done. So, this is basically just a nothing fight. Not much to worry about here. Yeah, Mr. Negative is not that bad of a defender anyways. I completely forgot he was even a tactic defender for this season, so yeah. And then, like I mentioned earlier, for 31, Dust is kind of the common placement here going forward. I take this fight 3 or 4 times, so Maker is going to be my MVP for this season. He takes so many easy fights on the map. Right now my Maker is only rank 3. I do take him to rank 4 later on in the season, just because he's quickly become one of my favorite champs to use in the entire game. And I was using him a ton this season anyway, so I figured, hey, why not? Good opportunity too. I would think that Maker is arguably the best tactic attacker out of the whole bunch, just because of how much he can take across the map. He does work for chain bosses as well, although he really needs to be rank 4 for that, and I believe he needs to be running recoils for that to work out well, but he can do that. So, my mom keeps texting me in this fight, but I do get clipped a little bit there just because I let the crit fall off from the tactic. But, I throw the SB1 there, I guess, just to create some space, but really, I should have saved for my SB2, because now I'm going to be out a couple of persistent charges, so I'm still learning how to play Maker as well. I'm still pretty new to him, but having a lot of fun using him, and he was incredibly great for this season. Very good for the tactics, so that fight is not too bad. Maker is good for dust anyways. Next is Yelena on node 45. This is Hazard Shift, Bleed, Cold Snap, and I believe this also has Conflictor on it. So,
Yelena is not too bad this season with Onslaught being whitelisted. I do know later on in this video I take Yelena and completely forget that Onslaught is whitelisted, and so I assign myself probably the worst possible champ to take Yelena with, but I'll bring that up when that happens. So, like I said earlier, Onslaught kind of dominates as a champ with Bastion. He just places more Neuros from the Cold Snap, and just ramp him up, and he's 150% resistant to bleed, which makes him good both for hazard shift, bleed nodes, and just good for Yelena as a whole. So I have to watch out a little bit for the Conflictor here, just to make sure I don't get clipped by Yelena's SB2, because I'm not 100% consistent at the dex on it. I honestly, I get it. I don't even try here. I do evade the last hit just because I don't want to get the disarm on to negate my damage, but luckily I can kind of block. I can block the SB2 with Onslaught because I won't take all the bleed damage. There I get clipped a little bit, but actually a bunch of my Neuroshocks fell off too, so I think I honestly just go for the SB2 here, just to start getting some damage off. So, there's another SB2, and now Yelena's in elimination, so I have to be very careful not to throw light attacks, heavies, or anything, just mediums and specials. And luckily, everything lines up okay. Yelena goes down. She's not super bad there, because Onslaught exists. Next, for the next four, this is Joe Fixit on node 5. He is not very threatening here at all. Usually I see Joe on node 8, and that makes him kind of annoying there. I get parried right off the bat there, so pretty great start. But yeah, this is just ebb and flow knockdown, I think. Or ebb and flow heavy, one of the two. This isn't a heavy hitter node, like the next one is, but yeah, not much going on here. The heavy hitter node on 14, which is what I'm taking next, really isn't that threatening this season anyways because of the tactic having grit. For some reason Arcade is on here, which I guess is fine. Usually Nick Fury is here, and he is very annoying there because you can't stun him in his second life, and he's just constantly unstoppable. But yeah, Arcade here is not super threatening. You just gotta play it like a normal arcade fight. I'm very bad at dexing the SP1, it seems. It's the second time this compilation I messed up on the arcade SP1 dex, so I get pushed to an SP3 and I just end up going for that rotation. So then I'll just build up to a bigger SP2. He's got a couple of precision stacked up right now, but it is not too big a deal. I just want to remove his tokens and build up to an SP2, and that will kill him. Yeah, all good. Next up, this is Deathless Thanos on node 26. This is the Intensify node. So you basically have to play this fight like it's Mixmaster, otherwise you will gain a ton of Intensifies, and the power gain node gives him a pretty chunky power gain every 15-20 seconds, I think, somewhere around that. So I'm going to be taking Sim Supreme for this, because I have another Serpent fight later to take on. But yeah, this fight is not too bad. I just want to make sure I'm alternating combos. Luckily, Sim Supreme gets rid of the Energize at the start, which makes this fight probably a lot scarier. I do get clipped by an SP1 there, and of course, Thanos' SP1 always seems to hit, always seems to be critical for whatever reason. But I'm just going to go for my SP3 rotation and land a couple of SP2s off. I do think I throw a couple specials into his protection, which is not ideal. But, see, it throws the SP2, and I just block it and take no damage. There, get a good chunky SP2 off, and he's in protection. And for some reason I throw the SP2 right into it, which is fine, I guess. I'm just gonna go for another SP3, and this last cycle will take him down. Yeah, Sim Supreme is a lot of fun. I don't think he really needed to be rank 4, but I took him up just because I enjoy playing him, and I needed a viable rank 4 Mystic that wasn't Deathless Guillotine. This next fight is Terrax on node 35, and this is a completely awful fight. I would not give yourself Sim Supreme for this. Terrax already, I believe, reduces the potency of Power Steel, so, and combined with the fact that I'm not getting any bleeds or anything here, it's just a mess. This is not a fight I would recommend doing, and that's why I sped it up a ton, so it's just whatever. I do take a lot of damage here from Terrax, Rock Field. But I want to say I have this fight closer to like 30 or 40%, maybe even lower, just because I take a ton of rock field damage, the power efficiency kind of creeps up on me a little bit, and I combo too, so there we go. So he's at 10% now, 1 SP2 left, and so that is not an ideal fight, but whatever works. Next up is another Void fight. This is on node 43, the Incinerate and Lead node. Incinerate Jock. So, I figured Shang-Chi is fine here if I just kind of spam medium, light, medium combos and refresh the Wushu strikes. That way I could just keep my cleanse charges up and manage the hazard shift debuffs. So, I probably should have power start one here. Actually, no. That's why I didn't, because of the clock. So, this fight is not too bad with Shang. It's basically, like I said, just keep the purifies up, and there's really not much to worry about. So, I get clipped a little bit there. I have to watch out for the prowess on this node and make sure I don't get clipped, because if I eat a special, I'm probably just going to straight up die, because those prowesses stack up really quickly and hit very hard. So, I'm gonna get my cleanses one more time, throw an SP2, and it brings it down to 50%. So I just have to do that one more time, and it should be done. So, I'm going to throw the heavy to reset my Wushu strikes. Shang is also an incredibly good tactic attacker this season. I absolutely love getting to use him because, honestly, before this, I really was not using my rank 3 Shang very much. So, I had a blast getting through this season, and I'd really like to rank 4 at some point as well. But Void is almost down. I think, yeah, I just do one more medium, light, medium combo to cleanse the hazard shift deals, get my SP2 off, and he's done. And then, yeah, just one more Sim Supreme fight against Serpent. I just sped this one up because it's boring, it's sluggish. It's the same thing over and over. It's just SP3, SP2, SP2, so, I believe I take this 3 times. The first 2 fights go pretty quickly. I think, like, either 2 minutes or under. But the final time I take this, the third time I take it, just is super slow for whatever reason. I'm not sure if it was just different masters each one was running, or what happened there really, but it was an extra long fight, so yeah, that was a sub 90-second fight. This is War 6, this is Wong on node 6. For some reason our opponents this war left Spider-Woman and Nico both unbanned, which is ironic considering they're both black for next season. So, I figured I'd bring in rank 3 Spider-Woman just for a couple of fights. Spider-Woman's good for Wong, she can apply the Wither whenever the opponent tries to get power. That'll remove spells, so I just have to watch out for the Falter on this node. The Ensnare can fail it, but I'm not going to try and rely on that for anything, so yeah, not too bad. Next up is node 15, Captain Britain. Captain Britain is good here because every time she gets bled, she inflicts a Neuroshock, and Maker is the only Neuroshock immune champ in the game, and arguably the best Captain, well, not even arguably, he is the best Captain Britain counter. He has the special power drain, which gets rid of her safeguard, and then he's also Neuroshock immune, so. There are the exhaustions on this node, which do decrease his crit damage rate, which is what his mind burst and everything rely off of, so it's not like the fastest thing ever. It's a little slow, but he's by far the best option for this. There I get hit a little bit, but basically for this fight I just want to get my mind up as fast as I can, keep my debuffs up, and also keep the tactic up, so there isn't like a lot to worry about here. It's mostly just a regular fight, because Captain Britain basically doesn't have anything against him here. So, just have to not get hit by himself, and I should be all good. So, I do
want to try to get my SP2 off, but I don't know if I do that or not, because I want to reclaim my fights. I do get clipped a little bit by, she does go stun immune at some point, so I have to watch out for a little bit, because Maker, whenever he evades, tries to stun the opponent, so I guess I'm just spamming SP1 here. I'm not really sure why I'm doing that, but I don't know if I throw the SP2 off or not, getting my persistent charges, just because I really like to stay topped up on those as much as possible. I end up placing a lot of Maker pre-fights in the season, mostly just on the actual boss node, just to try and help out whoever. There we go. I do get the SP2 off, so my persistent charges do go back up, and I have those for some other fights later on. Next, this is Gentle on node 25. Like I mentioned earlier, Gentle doesn't really have much defensive prowess, this tactic, because his unstoppable is nothing with the grit. But on Thorns, he can be kind of annoying, but so is anyone on Thorns. Maker is pretty good for Thorns because he really doesn't need to hit the opponent a lot. What you can do here, and what I believe I do, is just power start one, get the mine placed as soon as possible, and then you can kind of just get your stun off with the evade and spam heavies. So it's not a super difficult fight, but I believe I get hit quite a bit in this fight, and I want to say I end this fight like lower than 10%, which is what should happen, but that's just kind of how this goes. I think I take one more Thorns fight with Maker later on in this video. I think I take a dust on 25, so. But yeah, just generally Maker's good for Thorns. Like if there's a Captain Britain here, he's by far the best option, but I know Bastion can also work for Thorns, but Maker just happened to be on my team at that point, and I figured, why not? There I just completely miss a parry, and so there goes a good chunk of my health. I throw the SP2, which ends up dealing a lot of damage to me through the Thorns, and I completely just don't even land anywhere near the mine, so I didn't get my cash out from the SP2 at all, or anything, so I'm a little far away from the mine now, which is ideally not what I want. And so I'm going to take a lot more Thorns damage now, because I have to push Gentle all the way back over to the other side of the map. He hits me again, and now I'm in the corner, and it gets a little scary here, because there goes 10% of my health just from throwing one SP2, because there's so many melee hits in it. So Gentle's going to push me back against the corner again, get one more heavy off, and yeah, I'm cutting it very, very close here. I think I position the mine, he just runs into it and then dies, so that fight should not normally go that way. But when you're me and you play like garbage, that's just how it goes. Next, this is Korg on node 34. The only thing to really watch out for here is the energizes, but it's a Korg. Onslaught is whitelisted. There isn't really much to look out for, so it's basically just SP1, SP2, and just keep the gens close. So Korg's not super threatening most of the time anyways. So next up is Spider-Ham on node 39. This is the Rich Get Richer node with Footloose. I decided to use Spider-Woman for this fight, which in hindsight was not a very good idea. The power gain on Piggy gets pretty out of control here very quickly, because I also didn't give myself any Odins for this fight. I figured I could just get the SP2 Furies up quickly, and just pretty much have control of the Rich Get Richer for the entire fight. I say that, but then I don't use a PS1, so I have to play a lot in the corner of this fight. And to my knowledge, I didn't invulner anything here, so not a very good strategy for this fight. What I would do here is I would probably assign... I mean, Spider-Woman is fine here if you have Odins, I guess, but Bastion with Odins would probably work here as well, just because he'd counter the unstoppable from the tactic, and he counters the evade with his own pursuit, so I do eventually get this down, but it is very sluggish, and I have to do a lot of dancing around the corner, playing around the unstoppable and baiting SP2s, so. Next up, this is Northstar and node 41, the Bubble Shield node, and the Root. I am going to die to this fight
just because I get caught on a dashback, which is probably the worst feeling ever in the world, to die to a Northstar. Northstar is tactics, so I have to get the grid up as fast as I can. But really, what you should do here is just bait SB1s, because if you bait an SB2, then it's a pretty hard thing to dex, so they'll trigger the bubble shield and you'll just eat all the damage from it. I get very lucky there with the root and the heavy landing. There I get caught, and I miss a parry, so he gets pushed to an SB2. And now I'm thinking to myself, I'm completely screwed. I miss another parry, and he throws the SB2. I get caught on a dashback, and he just crits on the last 2 hits, and there, my entire health was gone to a Northstar, so not my proudest moment. Next up, once again, Path 6. This is Medusa. I'm taking this with Sim Supreme. I believe I have another Serpent fight once again. I got Sim Supreme, some Odins, and then Bastion. So yeah, this fight's not too bad. Just normal Sim Supreme things. Just don't let Medusa gain her Furies. Next is Dust on node 15. Dust is a good placement here if she's high enough Sig, because she will pretty much always place a sand debuff on you if she triggers a bleed on herself, which she's immune to. So ideally, a high Sig Dust would pretty much always be in Sandstorm on this node. For this fight, I've seen Solvark here a lot, but I figured I would try and take this with Bastion. So I do get caught right there. I dash all the way from across the screen into her. I get parried, and she triggers the Sandstorm immediately. From what I remember, this was not a high Sig Dust. It was only like Sig 20 or 40. So the threat here is not nearly as bad as it could be. But so it's basically just like a normal Dust fight. I just have to occasionally watch out for Sandstorm damage. Bastion can parry non-contact, so that makes him somewhat decent for Dust. I just want to get my SB2 off with at least 30 infection charges. That way I'm getting both Furies. I let my grit fall off there, so I throw an SB2 into her block, or into the Unstoppable. And I think here I just, I get the tactic. Oh, yep, I completely forget about the tactic once again. So there goes a waste of an SB1. And I want to say I actually realize what I'm doing here. Yeah, I finally realize what's happening, so I get the tactic up, and I just punish with an SB1 to, it almost takes her down. It takes her down to about 9%, so just sit her a couple more times, and she should go down with basics. So yeah, this fight can be a lot scarier if Dust is actually a high enough Sig, but at only Sig 20, Sig 40, she's really not too bad here. So Bastion's fine for it, but yeah. Next up, this is Karolina Dean on, I believe, node 26 again, the same node that Thanos was on. So same strategy here, basically just alternate combos, try not to get eaten by Karolina's specials because they do a lot, especially if she stays in the sun. That SB3 does a ton of damage, and she is just gone, just like that, after a couple more hits, yeah. Next up is another Northstar, this time on node 35. So Northstar is kind of scary here because if he gains prowess from his SB1, he is just throwing so many specials combined with the power efficiency from his own kit and the power efficiency from the node. So the strategy that I go with here is just to block SB2s, the opposite of what you should do in the 41 Northstar fight. So you should really listen to my own advice, but yeah, here I am. So I just have to watch out for the power efficiency here. Watch out for One Eye Open. I think I do take a bit of One Eye Open damage just to get the tactic up. Or maybe I just punish a heavy and get the tactic up. Or maybe I don't get it up at all. Yeah. Of course, Northstar's attacks just eat the invuln in one single hit because he has 3 hits. So now if I get hit by a special, I'm pretty much screwed. So I just have to play this fight a lot more carefully, just ideally not let him do that. He only gains 1 prowess there, which is fine, but from this point forward, I really want him to just try and throw SB2s only. And I can block those safely. He won't go unblockable. because I believe he will go unblockable at some point if he throws an SP1 into the block, but with the SP2 he won't do that, so you can just bait it freely. There, 2 Furies, get the disintegration off. I will point out that I don't ever run Bastion with recoils at all this season, and it was mostly just a personal choice because I didn't really think I needed him with recoils for any of these fights. I probably could have, but I just didn't really spend the units for it, so. And I believe I don't actually die with Bastion at all in the season. I don't think I do, at least. So, that's fine. He ends up working out fine for this fight. So, next up is Thanos on node 39. So I'm going to give myself some Odins here just so I win the Rich Get Richer race, and I'm going to use Symbiote Supreme for this fight. I've seen a couple options here. I know Nefaria is really good here. He's just generally good for 39, but yeah, Symbiote Supreme handles this fight really well. He's pretty solid for Thanos. He can get rid of the Energize right off the bat, and pretty much keep it gone for the rest of the fight. So it takes away another threat that Thanos has here, which the Energize combined with the Rich Get Richer makes him a little scary here, but just fire off a couple more SP3s, SP2s, and eventually he ends up going down. So, and then again, Serpent on node 46. At this point, I'm pretty comfortable with this fight. It is incredibly difficult to actually die to this fight. Going into this season, one thing I was told by a friend of mine, Dan, he told me that Serpent on node 46 with Symbiote Supreme is just a completely brain dead fight. So, and that is just incredibly difficult to die here, which is very true. So, yeah, I eat some hits and whatnot in this fight, and I still just do not die whatsoever. So, in fact, I could probably tank an SP3 with Serpent if I really wanted to, and it would just do nothing. So, there, I get him into death immunity, I spam my relic, and I perfectly timed get an SP2, and with the bleeds, he is just down. So, I want to say that's my last time taking it this season, but I could be wrong. Finally, for the first time all season, and my game audio is actually back. Wow, I get to use Serpent in more. He's whitelisted all season, and I only got to use him a handful of times. This is Shuri, once again on node 6. Serpent's True Focus counters pretty much everything here. Counters the Falter from the Arrogance node, counters Shuri's Untouchable. You just have to throw SP2s, not into block, because Shuri can block the unblockables. Next up is 15 Void again. And this fight goes much better than the previous attempt because I don't eat an SP2 right to the face. So I want to say I just go straight for the SP2 in this fight after I keep my endurance up and keep the tactic up. So this fight is very safe. I feel a lot more comfortable with this fight now. So even just basics alone take Void down pretty well. So I think I just bait a couple of specials, punish them to get my cooldown back, and then I just throw an SP2, and he goes down just like that. So nothing really to worry about. After this, I think I go to node, Path Force Section 2 again. Next time, or this time, Knull's on 22, which normally, yeah, he's on 31. I'm not sure why he's really on 22, but it's whatever. I use Lumatrix for this. It's the same strategy as usual with Knull, just try and bait SP2s, that way you don't have to deal with the reverse controls at all, or the unstoppable or unblockable. So, as long as Knull doesn't trigger corruption, he's fine. And once again, 31 Dust with Maker. It's a pretty easy fight. Just power start 1, get the mine up. Well, I don't even power start 1, but get the mine up. Use the parry stun evade to get your openings. That way you don't have to eat any unblockable hits. And yeah, it's mostly just a lot of pushing her over the mine over and over again. And ideally, just I do opt, of course, I end with an SP2 and don't actually get it off to reclaim my pre-fights. Next up, this is node 47 Shocker, and I'm going to take this with Serpent. Really, the things to worry about here, there are the Furies from the node, the Unstoppable. and there is also a Falter node here. Serpent is good for this node. He works for the Falter because he has his own true focus. If you time the SB1 being unblockable correctly, you can actually wait out the full duration of the Unstoppable just with the SB1, and the first hit being unblockable will connect, the entire attack will go through, and by the time it's finished, the Unstoppable will be over with itself. I do a really bad job of maintaining Chakra's charges in this fight. He's at 100 pretty much the entire fight, and I just try and ignore it at some point and just get it down. Next up for this next war, you'll notice I have Cyclops on the team in a season where Onslaught is whitelisted, which is a, quite frankly, stupid thing to do. I assigned myself Cyclops because there was a specific fight later on where I figured I need an evade counter for this fight, and Cyclops came to mind. So we'll get to that in a second. Korg on node 6 is nothing. It's Cyclops, he handles miss easily. Korg is just node 15, Captain Britain. Again, this one goes about the same as it always does. Just watch out for the stun immunity, and that's kind of it. I watched an SB2 really early there, and she only ends up at like 29% from it, so that's fine. Next up, 22 Void again. I don't know if I even speed this fight up. I think I just leave it as is because, yeah, it goes so quickly. So Power Star 1, get the lenses up, and so next up, this is node 38, Cassandra Nova. This is the debuff immune node and ebb and flow knockdown. So every time you knock her down, she will go debuff immune. And yeah, I guess Cassandra has some sort of threat here because you can't stun her. But other than that, it's not too bad. I use Maker for this fight. I do get clipped by the SB1 there for whatever reason. I get hit. But Maker's good for Cassandra Nova. He's immune to reverse controls. He's immune to Neuroshock. So there really is not any threat here whatsoever. Maker doesn't rely on debuffs whatsoever to get any of his utility. Pretty much everything Maker has is passive. So I just have to get my openings with the evade, knock her down. There, I miss the heavy punish just by a little bit. Here, I will knock her down, and then she's going to run in. I'll get the SB2 off, and it'll take her all the way down to 4%. So, there, I get the heavy punish off correctly, and she goes down. So, pretty easy fight. Next up, this is the fight that I brought Cyclops for, and on paper, this sounded like an okay idea. This is node 40, which has Mixmaster, which Cyclops can completely ignore, but Cyclops is a champ I enjoy playing when he cooperates, when the AI cooperates with him, but there I just get cornered so easily by Yelena, and because Cyclops does not auto run forward, it is very hard for him to get out of the corner once he is in there. So Yelena pushes me across the screen very far, so I take one death there, and I get approval to go back in, and I start off, I miss my light attack right off the bat, and she just clips me, and I get cornered again, and again, and again. She gets to an SB2, and I just miss the dex. On paper, I should have just sent Onslaught to that fight. I really don't know why I didn't. I had someone clean up that fight with Onslaught, and yeah. Next up, this is War 9, Node 9, Cassandra Nova. This is the point in the season where I really start to feel bad about my performance. There, I pushed Cassandra to an SB2, and on the last hit, the reverse controls messed me up, and I missed the dex on that last beam. So I heal up, I go back in, she's at 10%, and I just try and finish her off. So at this point, it's the last couple wars of the season, and my performance is slipping and doing really badly. This is where most of my deaths come from. The 2 deaths with Cyclops to Yelena, the Cassandra death, and I have, I think, 1 or 2 more coming up. So yeah, I was very upset about both of those. Next up, this is Knull on node 18. I end up using Onslaught here. he's only immune to, or not even immune, he's resistant to the shock, so he doesn't get around poison at all, but basically as long as I just stick to baiting SP2s from Knull, there's not much to worry about here, and just try to hit in the shock phase only. There, I don't remember if I intentionally threw the SP2 into block or not, but it saves me from taking some poison damage, so. And yeah, Knull goes down eventually. Next up, this is I-Bomb on node 20. This is the Vitality Strike Counter node. Basically, if you don't do the Strike Counter prompts, they gain Vitality buffs, which increase regen. If you dash back twice in a row, while the timer's up, they gain a regen buff. So, I end up using Leader here. I-Bomb is tactic, so I have to dance around the unblockable quite a bit, and it's a lot of corner play, but it ends up working out fine. It's mostly just use First Lights to get the Spectres up with Leader, and eventually he'll go down by heal reversing him, so. My Leader's only rank 2, and he's unduped, so he's not doing like the most work ever, but he is very tanky. Next up is this Lumatrix on node 29. This is EMP mod, and this also has stun immunity, which makes Lumatrix very dangerous here. Onslaught is a good counter to this fight, but it requires some very good play for it to actually work. I do take this again later, and I actually end up dying to it. This fight can go one of two ways. It can go very, very well, like it does in this fight, or it can go extremely horrible, like it does for me later. There, I kind of just chuck a random heavy from across the screen for whatever reason. And as long as Lumatrix's invisibility is on cooldown, he won't trigger the evade whenever he throws a heavy. So that's where you can get your openings. And the Neuroshocks will counter miss, so. There, 2 dashbacks to counter Lumatrix's heavy. I have the degens up, I throw an SP1, and yeah, he starts to tick down. So this fight goes pretty well. I just have to watch out, because Lumatrix has 2 bars power, so I know there's a chance he can throw the SP2. Which I just have to really watch out for, because that SP2 can clip people very easily, and that is actually what kills me later on. There I get very lucky, and he only throws the SP1, so if he would have thrown the SP2 there, I probably would have been in much more trouble. There, I whiff the heavy, but I have the relic, and it saves me, so yeah, that fight goes down pretty well. I'm happy with how that one went. Next up, this is Nico Minoru on node 39. For node 39, you generally want to have Odin pre-fights on this. That way you are winning the Rich Get Richer race. However, Nico starts off with her buff immunity pre-fight, so you just can't get Odins on this fight, no matter what. So the strategy I went with here was I used an invuln boost, and I decided that I would just embrace the Rich Get Richer on Nico Minoru, and I would just let her get to an SP3 and tank them with invuln. Now, I did not realize this until after the fact, but if she throws a heavy, I actually do get pentacle debuffs on myself, which helps me get Rich Get Richer up until the point where she throws a special. So for a while, I do actually win the race in Rich Get Richer, but I'm still just going to apply the same strategy of just get Nico to 3 bars. She'll throw her SP1 or SP3, and I just won't take any damage from it. Bastion is resistant to poison, so he won't take any damage at all from it. I have the Pursuit up and the Tactic, so I can counter both of the buffs from Footloose. But yeah, there I got some nice SP2 crits, and I think I just get the Pursuit up here and throw an SP1, and she ticks down quite a bit from that. I think I have her throw one more SP3 just because I have the invuln up still, or this may just kill her right here, I don't remember. Yeah, that final disintegration burst just ends up killing her, so 39 Nico, pretty easy fight. Next up, Path 6, once again, pretty much all I'm good for in this alliance. This is a Mega Sentinel, kind of like the Shuri fight from earlier. Serpent works here perfectly fine. I do get auto-blocked, which Serpent doesn't counter, so I take a bit of damage there. And I eat an SP2 as well, just for the fun of it. So. But eventually, she does go down. 15 Captain Britain. Once again, I believe my Maker is rank 4 at this point. I don't think I rank 4'd him for that war specifically.
I think I did it a little bit before, war, maybe a couple wars back, but he is rank 4 now. He's unduped, which I'm not super happy about, but he works perfectly fine without the dupe. It just gives him a bit more damage, and it gives him the evade during specials. So, but Maker at rank 4 is very nice. He feels very fun to play and does a ton of damage. Next up, this is Onslaught on node 20. Maker works fine here because he has a heal block. He can keep up pretty much indefinitely. You're throwing heavies all the time with Maker anyways, so he pretty much always has infinite access to heal block anyways. There, I don't have to worry about the first controls at all, so... This fight is basically just a normal Onslaught versus Maker fight. Just keep the heal block up, get the SP2 off, and yeah. Next up, I'm going to take that Lumatrix fight on EMP mod again, and this time I will end up dying to it, because this fight can go very poorly if Lumatrix decides to not be kind with his specials and throw an SP2. Or if you get cornered, things can just get out of hand very quickly. There, I completely my block just doesn't work, I guess, and there, I get cornered, he throws a heavy, I miss the dex in the corner, and so he has the evade charge now. He has an SP2 ready, and I get very unlucky. He throws the SP2, and I just decide to try and dex it for whatever reason. So I had someone go in and clean up the rest of that fight. But yeah, that fight can go one of two ways. Next up, this is Gentle on node 37, I believe. So he will be regenning a lot from this fight. This has personal space regen. It has root or rooted, I believe, and then it also has a purify node where whenever the defender throws a special attack, they will purify like 5 debuffs off of them, I think. So, but with how often Maker is throwing his heavy attacks anyways, he doesn't really have to worry about that. So, the mine does quite a bit of damage there. I run into the SP1 for whatever reason, but yeah, I just have to watch out for the regen, keep the heal block up, and yeah, there's not much to worry about here. So I do have to dance around the root a little bit, but there, luckily, I get very lucky on the heavy punch there, and Gentle just kind of walks into it. Throw the SP2, it takes him down to about 15%. Triggers the unstoppable, but Grit just ignores it. Throw a heavy, and I think I just throw the SP1, and he will just kind of run into it and die from it. So eventually he'll go into it. Yeah, walks into it, gets rooted, throw a heavy to finish him off, and there he goes. So not too much going on there. Next up, I want to say this is the final war of the season. So War 12. This is once again Path 6. This is Strife. Strife actually is kind of a good placement here. He is tactic, and he has the miss and space kid, so he will trigger the power thief from this node, but it's not too big of a deal. It's mostly just a lot of heavy spam with Makers and with Maker, and there I whiff him SP2 because I thought he would dash it, but he doesn't, so I don't claim my pre-fights back. So I only have the one pre-fight for this Captain Britain fight, which means I'm going to be doing a lot less damage without the instant item. But it's fine because this is a nothing fight. I can heal a lot from willpower. It's just kind of slow without the instant item. So it's whatever. Just throws heavies, and eventually the SP2 takes it down. I can reclaim my charges, and yeah. So you will notice on the team I have Superior Iron Man. That's for a synergy for a fight later on, which basically just gives Maker an ensnare to go alongside his other 3 pre-fights, which is nice, mostly just for countering evade, but the 30% ability accuracy reduction is nice as well. So this fight is Dust on node 25, Thorns. Like the Gentle fight earlier, Maker's good for Thorns, just as long as I don't get hit and I don't play like a goofball, which I don't remember if that's how this goes or not. So I go in, I get the heavy punish, get the heavy stun right off the bat. Use Power Star 1, and just get the mine placed as soon as possible. Try to bait SP1s only, just because with the heal block from the... Oh, I guess not. I guess she isn't going unblockable like I thought she would, but usually I just try and stick to baiting SP1s only with us. There she goes unblockable because of the Be Like Water type. So, there I got a really nice intercept. Go for the SP2 to claim my crystal charges back, and she goes all the way down to 15%. Missed the parry there, but it's fine. Get a heavy in, and she's down to 7%. Another SP1, and I get clipped. Yeah, go through another SP1 just to finish her off, and she'll just run into the line and die. So, nothing really to worry about there. Next up is Attuma on 34, kind of like the Korg fight earlier. I just have to watch out for the energizes. I decided to just bring in my rank 3 Dazzler for this fight, because there isn't really much going on here other than just Attuma. So, he won't really... I actually don't think he really triggers the energizes at all, unless he lands a heavy. So, there isn't really much to worry about there. And then for the final fight that I have in this video is Domino on node 40 with the Superior Iron Man and Dr. Doom synergy. It just gives Maker and Ensnare right off the bat, so I won't have to worry about Mixmaster whatsoever. I can just play it like a normal Domino fight. Maker's pretty good for Domino. It has increased ability accuracy. You can still get crit failed on sometimes, but for the most part, he's actually pretty good for this fight. So I had an extra team slot, so I just went ahead and brought the synergy just to have it. I do think I get clipped a little bit in this fight, but whatever. So, heavy off there. I whiff a relic into her block, which is fine. So, there, SP2 brings her down to about 3%. So. And I believe, yep, I just completely miss a parry here, and half my health just goes away in one combo, so I'm just gonna finish her off with a couple basics, and that's all. So for this section of the video, I want to just take a second to talk about all of the different attackers and whatnot I used throughout the season. Obviously, most of these fights were just with Maker, who's basically my MVP for the entire season. Maker and Bastion, arguably the two best tactic attackers. A good chunk of Sim Supreme fights and Shang fights. I would really ideally like to take Shang to rank 4 and hopefully get some more use out of him, but we'll see. Onslaught and Lumatrix both got a couple of fights. Lumatrix was really nice for the tricky like 15 void fights. A couple Serpent fights. I was honestly kind of surprised I didn't really use him more with the whitelist. Wiccan, mostly just for Knull on 31. Spider-Woman was pretty much banned all season, and she's blacklisted from this point forward. Cyclops, I don't even want to talk about. And then just a couple of outliers. Leader, Dazzler, Okoye. My final stats for the season were 67 and 9, which are honestly stats I'm not very happy with. Pretty much all of my deaths were stupid, easily avoidable things that I not too happy with, especially the Cyclops ones. That was just a silly planning mistake on my part. But Love, as an alliance, we finished Plat 2 rank 8, which, considering we had a couple of people sabotage the alliance and just some silly things go on throughout the season, is not bad, all things considered. I really wanted to give a big shout out to my whole battle group throughout the season. There were obviously a lot of changes to the battle group as the season went on, but to everyone who was there as the season ended, it was very fun, and I enjoyed my battle group there, and I really liked getting the plan. And I wanted to give a short thank you to Monarch, one of the officers in Love, who has an amazing bot and site that they built that really allowed for planning to become, really made planning a lot easier and made rosters easily accessible, and a lot of hard work put into that. And then I want to give a short shout out to a couple people: Titan, Fridge, Dan, Tilapia, William, and JJ. Just all people who helped me kind of learn my way through planning and just kind of get my footing in my first time in Tier 1. So just wanted to say thank you to all those people, and really just to Love as a whole for letting me be in there. I won't be in Love next season. I'm probably, in all honesty, I'm probably going to just take a short break from the game, just because the game right now is taking up a bit too much of my time, and the state of the game right now is not as ideal as I'd like it to be, so I will probably take a couple seasons off from any sort of Tier 1 or Tier 2 war, maybe try building up an alliance of my own, but hopefully at some point I'd like to return to some Tier 1 war, maybe get some more experience and end up in a high Plat 1 or Masters Alliance at some point. We'll see. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this. I don't know if I will ever do another video like this at all. I'd love to. I had a lot of fun making this, but it all really depends on if I ever come back to war or what happens. So thank you for watching this, and I'll see you next time, I guess.